Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to continue to have a look at the latest on the very unsettled weather we have that is continuing with loads of heavy thundery showers that are going to continue over the next few days all the way into the weekend potentially. It does look likely though we will see a little bit of dry weather into the weekend, and next week we could be seeing something really quite interesting. We could see a real blast of heat potentially. Now, over the last few videos we have concentrated on the thunderstorms and unsettled weather, but we have always kept an eye on the mid to longer range, and as we will see in this video, Hurricane Danielle, or Hurricane Danielle at the moment, but soon to be Hurricane Danielle, is going to influence our weather. Now, we have been watching and keeping an eye on it, on its track, and it's out in the North Atlantic at the moment, and it's going to head towards the UK and dive southwards. Remember, hurricanes have got a very warm, hot core to them and have a lot of hot mid-Atlantic air associated with it. And as this low-pressure system of Hurricane Danielle dives to our south, it actually brings up incredibly hot air from the south, and we will concentrate on that in the second half of the video. And it means in around a week's time we could be seeing temperatures back into the 30s maybe, but with low pressure with it, it could even be extremely thundery. We could see some major thunderstorms once again next week. So yeah, some really interesting weather coming up over the next week or two. So if you are looking for some late summer heat, it may only be a couple of days. Perhaps next week we could see some mid to high 20s widely, or low 30s. And if you're looking for some more thunderstorms, if you haven't had enough this week, there could be some more coming next week. Some big multi-celled systems with some extremely hot air fueling them. So, do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, links in the description. The first half of the video, we will concentrate though on the immediate thunderstorm risk, as we still have a lot of heavy thundery showers around. We've got a rain warning issued for Scotland tomorrow, and as I said, we will continue to see heavy thundery showers all the way probably until Saturday. So, as we can see on the live radar, we've got another day of widespread thundery showers. Some big thunderstorms breaking out in them. Again, though they're a lot more pop-up storms. We're not seeing sort of multi-celled systems. We're not seeing massive lines of storms. They very much are pop-up storms, and you can see they are very, very localised. The most lightning activity actually is across parts of the West Midlands and parts of Wales, with all these red dots are little thunderstorm cells producing some frequent lightning and very heavy rain. You can see quite extensive rain now as the overshooting tops come out. So yeah, we are actually seeing quite extensive rain in these areas, but the most significant conditions are on the little red specks, and they are very scattered, and it is really hit and miss. Elsewhere, we still got some very heavy showers breaking out, some reds within these showers, so still some heavy thundery showers around, but the majority of these showers are just rain as the impacts from them, not a lot of lightning with these. Well, we'll have a look at the lightning radar in a minute and see how we have a lot of lightning strikes within these storms, and it's just going to continue over the next few days, this sort of pattern of dryish in the morning and then heavy thundery showers breaking out through the afternoon. It's just going to continue, and we could see some big thunderstorms still potentially along the south, as we still do have significant cape there, and we will have a look at those cape charts from the WRF in a minute as well. If we do look at the temperatures today, I'm recording this just before 4 p.m, so we are around peak temperatures for the day, and you can see it's not actually that warm, with a lot of widespread heavy showers and a lot of cloud associated with those showers as well. Even when these showers do dissipate, we've still got a lot of cloud around with them, so temperatures are lower, perhaps around the high teens, low 20s. Still warm though for this time of year, not too bad. Best conditions probably across parts of Yorkshire, the East Midlands up towards North East England, where we are avoiding the showers at the moment, but it is still not incredibly hot there, at least considering compared to the last few days where we have seen 25 degrees in quite a few areas, much more towards average, maybe slightly above average. As I said, it could be even hotter next week, so September could really be shaping up, at least the first half of the month, to be, although yes, really quite unsettled and thundery, it could actually be really quite warm in the statistics, even though it hasn't felt like it for many because of the heavy showers around, cooling down temperatures locally. Now, if you have a look at the past precipitation over the last 24 hours, and again, if we do get this to load, again you can see how we've seen loads of these dark green lines producing around an inch of rainfall where these thunderstorms did move in. Again, through the London area, saw some big thunderstorms once again yesterday and of course across northern England where we saw the biggest storms, and parts of Scotland seen a good inch or two of rain there. And you can see parts of the West Midlands are much lower, but these areas are getting the thunderstorms at the moment. And this is actually 2 p.m. And if I do update it, you can see it is starting to fill in. And I expect by this evening, once these thunderstorms have moved through these areas, we'll be potentially seeing up to an inch or two of rainfall once again. And parts of Southern Ireland getting a lot of rain. Again, I said a few days ago, I'm expecting Southwest England and Southern Ireland to get the most amount of rain. And once again, you can see they're in the dark greens to light yellows. And remember, this is only the precipitation that has fallen within the last 24 hours from the radar estimates. And remember, it has rained significantly since really last Saturday. So we've had 5 days, 4 or 5 days of big rainfall before this. So some areas are really getting a lot of rain, 100 millimetres plus, maybe even up to 200 millimetres by this time next week, potentially throughout the first couple of weeks of September. Now, if you go over to the lightning radar, you can see here from the Met Office, if you just zoom in there briefly, again, the most active storms are across the West Midlands, parts of the northwest towards Liverpool and into Wales as well. All these orange specks are lightning strikes in the last 5 minutes or so, and then slowly transitioning. And you can see how they're moving so slowly northwards, northeastwards probably. Again, a few active storms across East Anglia, and again, a few lightning strikes in Scotland sporadically, and again, it looks like a couple of thunderstorm cells on the border of Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland. But again, most active storms across parts of the West Midlands. But I am expecting potentially tonight, and especially tomorrow, the south coast into the southeast could be seeing the biggest storms, and we'll see that in a minute. Again, it's very difficult to say because the models are very much all over the place with this, because it is a lot of it is convection based popping up, and it is so difficult to forecast. Just the best thing to do is to look at where the most significant cape is, and that's where those showers will really pep up. Because once again, similar to the last few days, and as we saw on the live radar a minute ago, pretty much anywhere can see a heavy shower at the moment, and anywhere really can see a thunderstorm. But again, we can try and pinpoint the most likely areas. Now, if you go to the weather warnings, I am again surprised to not see a blanket yellow warning for thunderstorm. Again, I thought we would have seen it yesterday. We did actually see some thunderstorm warnings issued post me recording the video yesterday. But again, it's a bit of a nowcast situation. I sometimes do think it's a bit irrelevant posting warnings, immediate warnings, once an event has already started. Warnings should be generally in advance so that people can prepare and change plans. There's no point issuing a warning as soon as the thunderstorm has arrived. But we did see that yesterday. And again, I'm surprised we haven't seen a blanket thunderstorm warning in England and Wales, if not maybe locally in West Midlands, parts of Wales, as we are seeing slow-moving, significant thunderstorms there, dropping a lot of rain. And again, it's not just sort of one thunderstorm here or there. We've had continuous days, so some areas are really totting up the rainfall amount. So wouldn't be surprised if we did see some flash flooding from these storms. And again, I would expect a blanket yellow warning, but we're not seeing it. We do, though, have a yellow warning for rain across parts of eastern Scotland from 4 a.m. tomorrow until 10 a.m. as we've got some heavy rain pushing in from the east, spiraling around the low pressure system. And again, if we have a look at the further details, outbreaks of rain, heavy at times, are possible early on Thursday. Accumulations of 20 to 30 millimetres are likely in a few hours, with a chance of 40 millimetres in one or two places. Following the recent wet weather, this brings a risk of flooding and possible disruption to transport. The rain is expected to turn more showery later in the morning. Very likely, lower end of the impact scale. So again, going to see potentially an inch of rain there. But as I said, I'm surprised we don't have a thunderstorm warning or a rain warning elsewhere, because we are seeing an inch or two of rain in the past 24 hours from some of these storms. So seeing those impacts in other areas and we're not seeing any warnings issued, again, a little bit bizarre, but perhaps it's because we've had relentless thunderstorms over the last 5 or 6 days or so that sort of issuing a yellow warning every single day would probably start to get a little bit monotonous and pointless. So I get it, but I have seen yellow warnings issued for much less risk, and sometimes we've seen no thunderstorms form at all, and we've had a yellow thunderstorm warning out. So again, looking at the models and how likely and how predictable the widespread outbreak of showers and storms are, I'm surprised we don't have a blanket warning. But again, I'm not a professional, and I leave those warnings up to the professionals at the Met Office. So if you go over to the UKV now and have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days, if we do run to 3 p.m. this afternoon, you can see how we've got heavy, widespread showers. Again, the UKV not really pinpointing anywhere specifically for the heaviest showers and storms, but perhaps you could say parts of the West Midlands and parts of the Republic of Ireland seeing the biggest showers and storms. But again, it's this widespread showery nature, and we're just going to see this continuously over the next few days. As I said, this really is totting up rainfall in areas. Yes, some areas probably have avoided thunderstorms over the last few days. There will be inevitably a couple of places, very few, that have completely avoided the torrential rain we've had in areas over the last 5 days or so, and we're going to see again in the next couple of days. But most areas, the majority of places, have seen some heavy rain, have seen some thundery weather to a certain extent, or at least been in the vicinity of a thunderstorm. So yeah, a lot of rainfall is falling in these areas, and some areas are really going to be totting up. It's going to be very interesting to seeing what sort of the rain gauges do pick up within the next few days, and see what the September totals are so far. But if we do run through this evening, as I said, along the south coast, we could see some more extensive thunderstorms around 9-10 p.m. this evening. You see across the southeast and parts of the southwest. Inland, the storms die out as we get towards sunset. But along the far southeast and south coast, we could see more thunderstorm activity. Could be multi-celled as well, and for the early hours could come inland. So more activity along the south coast is increased Cape there. And you can see tomorrow that heavy rain pushing into parts of eastern Scotland that could give giving that rain warning. But once again, the radar here is showing very similar conditions in the south, and we don't have a rain warning there. Yes, I guess more precipitation has fallen in eastern Scotland over the last couple of days, but similarly, looking at these charts, I would expect potentially a yellow warning along the south coast for storms tonight, but we don't have it. So if you're along the south coast, and if you are going to be up late, around 10 p.m. to around probably 3-4 a.m, there could be some real big storms, a lot of lightning, and again, being nighttime is probably the best time to view these lightning strikes. And again, it could be some very heavy rain in places. Through tomorrow, those storms come back inland, but again, probably the biggest and most widespread in the south, parts of East Anglia as well. This chart today is even more widespread than today's storm, so could be seeing even more activity tomorrow. And again, it's just widespread reds, showing anywhere could see a heavy shower or storm. Some heavy persistent precipitation pushing into the northeast, looking like a little bit of an occluded front there, and that's going to spiral around the low, giving more widespread precipitation through Thursday evening into Friday. Thunderstorms eventually do die out, and into Friday afternoon, again a widespread shower risk, but because of that occluded front bringing more cloud, less convection takes place across the centre of the country. Still though, widespread showers and storms. And as we head into Saturday, it actually does die out a little bit, turning drier through Saturday. Yes, a few showers here or there, but nowhere near as heavy and as thundery as the days preceding it. And into Sunday, we actually see a weather front arriving, and this is sort of remnants of ex-Hurricane Danielle. Again, you can't say it's the exact same low-pressure system, but within that spinning low-pressure system out in the Atlantic, this is associated with it, and this is just the beginning, potentially, of some very warm air. Again, some very heavy precipitation pushing in within it. Again, could turn thundery in nature, but look at those upper air temperatures, and look how hot it is to our south and our east. 18 degrees at Aintree HPA for the 12th of September. That is exceptionally hot. Again, the air masses we could be seeing like next week would give temperatures in the mid-30s in the middle of the summer. Again, I'm not expecting that, maybe 30 degrees maximum, just because, again, we have less sun strength, but still, yeah, really interesting seeing that. Now, if you move on to the max temperatures, again, you see those temperatures widely in the high teens, low 20s today. Still really quite warm nights, humid nights, temperatures dropping to around the mid-teens, so only dropping by maybe 3, 4, 5 degrees as we hang on to warm upper air temperatures. And through Thursday, temperatures once again, high teens, low 20s. Into Friday, again, another similar story, high 20s, high teens, low 20s. Saturday, again, high teens, low 20s, but could feel a bit more warmth with drier weather. And into Sunday, perhaps even higher in the east, maybe 23 degrees, as we again see slightly dry conditions before heavy rain does push in. Now, if you go over to the Meteo Seal and have a look at the WRF runs, we do start looking at the Cape values. Again, this it, again, won't show us exactly where the biggest storms will be, but it gives us a sort of likelihood where we see more Cape, more likely to be severe thunderstorms, but elsewhere could still see thunderstorms and heavy showers. So if we do run through, you can see how most extensive Cape is across the parts of the west. You can see those greens appearing across North Wales, North West England, and across parts of the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland border, and that's where we're seeing most significant thunderstorms this afternoon. So yeah, again, you can see how Cape values are widely moderate, but in those areas where they're the highest, we're seeing the biggest storms. But tonight we see quite significant Cape along the south coast, maybe pushing into the London area, into parts of Kent, Essex around midnight. So big storms potentially there tonight. Again, there will be an area of showers and storms, but whether it's extremely extensive and intense or whether it's just moderate, just some showers and some heavy rain, again, it's difficult to say. But looking at these Cape values could be quite intense there. And as we head through tomorrow, again, extensive Cape breaks out, potentially even higher than today widely. And once again, no real specific area pinpointing it, but just widespread high Cape values through Thursday. So it could be seeing, again, some more very widespread, significant thunderstorms. And as we head into Friday, again, still some Cape round in places, maybe a little bit reduced, but still very high through northern England, central areas, East Anglia, central, southern, and eastern England. The west, though, reducing as we're more under the centre of the low, where there's less energy from the warm air. And by Saturday, you can see very little Cape around, so that's why Saturday, any showers that do form are likely just to be sort of moderate with very low chance of any heavy or lightning activity within it. If we do look at the raw precipitation charts from this, again, it's going to be very similar to the UKV, where it just shows loads of widespread showers. You can see this afternoon lots of heavy thundery showers breaking out. Again, pinpointing across the West Midlands, parts of North West England, and parts of Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. Again, pretty well. That's what we're seeing on the radar. Through tonight, again, you can see those heavy thundery showers, especially breaking out in the far southeast, really quite intense there. And as we head into tomorrow afternoon, again, another widespread outbreak, specifically in the south and the west, and of course across northeast England with some persistent rain pushing in as well. Beyond that, as we head through into Friday, again, another widespread day of heavy thundery showers, and into Saturday, things starting to die out. So again, real no point looking at these precipitation charts too literally, because there is just going to be a widespread risk. Again, we've highlighted a few regions that could see some significant organised showers and thunderstorms, like the southeast tonight, parts of the West Midlands today, and potentially tomorrow, quite widely heavy thundery activity. But I'll repeat it, just over the next sort of 72 hours or so, as we head towards Friday night, there is pretty much, or Friday night into Saturday, there's pretty much a widespread risk of heavy showers and thunderstorms pretty much anywhere. So do make sure you take care. So if we do go over to the mid to longer range now and have a look at that potential very warm and hot air we could be seeing next week. Now, if we do run through, we're going to keep on the upper air temperatures. Again, you can see the low pressure system we have over the moment clearing to our east. You can see ex-tropical storm Danielle there out of the Atlantic. It drops to our south by Saturday, Sunday time. And look at that, a massive pulse of extremely hot air moves northwards for Monday. Now again, it will only produce a day or two of heat, but if we do zoom into the United Kingdom and have a look at Sunday temperatures, not too hot, but by Monday, potentially 30 degrees across Europe. Again, we could be on the cooler side with big precipitation. Again, we put that precipitation on, you can see there is a weather front there producing heavy precipitation. But, again, we could be really in that heat potentially for Tuesday. Look at that, 25 to 30 degrees potentially in the southeast corner. Again, we'll have to pinpoint it on the shorter range models. But yeah, it could be a real burst of heat potentially next week. And if that heat doesn't quite arrive on our shores, the heat to the near continent could fuel some massive thunderstorms. Now, if we do zoom out into the European look again, that heat eventually moves to our east and we continue through into the middle of September. Again, we stay really quite stormy and unsettled with low pressure just parked near or around us. And again, another ex-tropical system and another ex-hurricane moves out to the Atlantic, really spinning it up and completely changing the positioning of blocking low pressure, high pressure. Look at that. Pushes high pressure towards the Arctic and actually plunges us into a bit of a cooler northerly wind. Just a real bizarre setups could be seen over the next couple of weeks. Again, I wouldn't take these charts beyond around day 10 too literally, because these hurricane systems haven't haven't even developed properly yet. Some of them haven't even formed, so trying to predict them in a couple of weeks' time is impossible. But yeah, it could be a real burst of heat potentially in around 5 to 7 days' time. Not only could it give us some high temperatures, but as I said, could fuel some big storms. Now, if you go over to the GEM run, see how that does compare. Again, low pressure involved at the moment. Ex-Hurricane Danielle dives to our south, pulls up an incredibly hot air mass. Look at that. The 50-degree isotherm gets through, potentially even the 20-degree isotherm. Look at the temperature deviation, potentially 12 degrees above average. And again, if we zoom into the United Kingdom look and go to the 3-hour intervals, you can see Tuesday next week, widely mid to high 20s. Let's have a look at what Monday would be. Again, maybe low to mid 20s there. Incredibly hot. And by next Wednesday could be high 20s once again. Again, does not sound incredible compared to what we've had this summer. But it is the middle of September. Getting temperatures much above the mid-20s is really quite difficult. And again, look at those upper air temperatures. Could get that 20-degree isotherm very close by. Really incredibly hot conditions could be seen there. And not only could it bring very warm conditions, but it could fuel some big thunderstorms that you can see spiraling up from the south there in the preceding or in the following days. Yeah, so very interesting seeing that. And if we run out to the end, again, you can see more Atlantic systems trying to push in. Again, more ex-tropical systems. And yeah, just a real big, unsettled and unpredictable North Atlantic. If we do finish the more mid-range models by having a look at the ECMWF, again, low pressure involved at the moment. Ex-Hurricane Danielle drives to our south, pulls with a very warm and hot southerly wind, and by next Monday it could be incredibly hot. Look at those upper air temperatures, 12 degrees above average. Again, the hottest temperatures here are arriving on next Monday. We do zoom into the United Kingdom. Look at that, mid to high 20s. Again, these are low resolution. Could be 28, 29 degrees within this. Incredibly warm. And yeah, those overnight temperatures not dropping much below 20 degrees. Very humid. And by next Tuesday, 27 or 28 degrees is possible as well. And again, look at those precipitation values. Very heavy, thundery rain pushing up from the south, potentially next week as well. So yes, this heat may not arrive. It may just stay to our east. It may go over the top of us. It may come directly over us during the night, so we don't actually see the impacts in the day. But it will be fueling heavy showers and storms as the low pressure from all of these runs does swing through directly after. And look at day 10. We just continue with a barrage of low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. So this pattern of warm but very unsettled with a lot of heavy showers, thunderstorms, big weather fronts producing some very heavy thundery rain looks likely to continue. Yes, we will see some dry days here or there, but we will continue to see these heavy thundery risks. We are heading into autumn, so this risk will reduce as the hurricane season slowly comes to end in the next month or two. But it really is ramping up at the moment, and we still have a lot of warm air in the North Atlantic, which is allowing these systems to maintain their strength and allowing this hot air to be still close by, fueling the showers and storms. Now, if you finish by having a look at the ensembles, again, average around the next few days, a lot of precipitation around, slightly drier on Saturday, and then we see that big heat spike with very high precipitation values as well. It continues to drop slowly in terms of temperatures, but still very unsettled conditions all the way through to the last third of September. But yeah, big heat spike there. Majority of ensemble members are going for it. Very, very interesting seeing that. Again, you look at the dew points and you can see very warm dew points, so very warm, humid air masses over the next week or two, which just helps keep this humid, warm, summer-like feel, but also allows these big storms to form. We've got a lot of warm air with a lot of moisture shown by these high dew points, and yeah, just allows these storms to develop. If you do look at the ECMWF ensembles, just compare it. Again, big heat spike potentially next week with temperatures potentially 10 to 15 degrees above average, but accompanied by big precipitation spikes. So it could be some more huge thunderstorms next week, especially in the south and the east, where we have that hottest air engaging with it. One thing I actually do want to have a look at just before we end the video is the Cape charts on that GFS. We'll have a look at that in a second. But yeah, big precipitation could continue next week. This, as I said, this very humid, warm, but thundery outlook looks like it's going to continue. If you're looking for any drier weather, potentially Saturday or Sunday could be quite nice. But we are back into the thundery weather, unsettled weather again next week. We see a pump of hot air from the south combined with low pressure, bringing us, as I said, very unsettled conditions. Now, as I said, if we do go out to that GFS run very briefly and have a look at those Cape charts, are we going to see significant Cape with it? Very interesting to see. And again, if we do actually run it back, go to the United Kingdom, look, do we see significant Cape? Yes, along the far southeast, potentially next Tuesday, but staying mostly in France, interestingly. And again, still long range, though, moderate amounts of Cape. So GFS not quite going for some big thundery outbreaks there, but potentially along that far southeast, nowhere near as high Cape values as now. So could be some very heavy rain next week, but the thundery nature of it will depend on how much Cape we see. And you can see across Europe, it is pretty high within that very hot air, but it's how much of that gets dragged towards the UK. You can see that big green area there. How much of that does get into the UK will determine how thundery it does get. So still questions for next week, but it's looking potentially quite warm, maybe even hot, with some big thunderstorm outbreaks to continue. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you stay safe by that within the thunderstorms over the next few days and the next week or so. And I'll see you again for another video soon.